Hey, what's up? It's Sam with Insert Slogan here,
Logan.
and this is episode number 18. And before we jump into the show, just want to give you a quick, brief summary that, we talk about a lot of controversial stuff and we drop some vulgar language and knowledge on you. So if you're offended by innuendos and that kind of thing, just click the red X on your browser right now or stop listening if you're listening to this via audio stuff, okay? So for those that are still here, thank you for joining us. It's a wonderful week. I have the slogan, and it's basically very simple. Worrying is a disease. Kill it. Logan says with Tide, because with the Tide Pod Challenge and all that fun stuff. It's yeah. Um, it's been a
We'll be
thing.
sure to we'll be sure to talk about that later on.
Oh,
But
for sure. The reason I chose this slogan is because I found myself the last 2 days worrying a lot about things that are out of my control, and it's I don't know. Maybe you personally deal with it a lot, Logan. I haven't really talked to you about worrying at all. Like I don't think ever. Um, but
yeah,
for me, it bothers me a lot because it keeps me from actually getting anything done, and I just worry about all the stupid shit that's out of my control instead of focusing on what is in my control. So yeah, kill it and work on it every day. If you catch yourself worrying, just say stop. There's nothing you can do about it. Move on and focus on something else. Invading question number one. What's the best sibling number to be? And by sibling number, I mean, like youngest, oldest, middle child.
17th. The seventh of an octuplet is definitely the best to be. How
Why?
about that?
Why?
I'm kidding.
Oh,
Middle child, obviously. Duh.
shut up, okay? The oldest is
What's your
clearly
answer?
the best, dude.
Gee, I wonder why we think respectively what
Oh,
we think.
because we're biased assholes. That's why. I would say.
It depends on what you mean by best. Like objectively, the middle
Mm,
child has an older and a younger sibling, so they get to experience everything,
okay,
therefore increasing empathy.
let
And
me rephrase the question then. If you had to choose what
oh god,
sibling you would be, oldest, youngest, middle child,
youngest.
you'd be the youngest? Why?
The youngest is the baby of the family. They never like if your older brother picks on you and you cry to your mom, you get your way. If you pick on your older brother and then you cry to your mom, you get your way. Come on, that's broken. Like youngest has it all.
um, that's fair.
Objectively, it'd be the best as
Objectively,
far as that is concerned. So
that's fair. That's kind of fair. Now that I think about it, yeah, my youngest brother definitely got away with some bullshit, and he's very much the baby. But like, we still love him to death. I think I'd still be the oldest. I think, hands down, because you get everything first.
and your family makes the most mistakes on you before they learn how to adapt to your other brothers and sisters. So there you
I
go.
guess when you put it that way,
No, I'm kidding.
youngest is really seeming to be the number one draft pick here.
So if you look at it, it's almost as if middle child is the third draft pick. Oh, oh.
Nah, I don't think so. I think every child has their place in the world and in a family. But objectively, I would probably be the oldest. I think,
All right.
and is the best in my opinion.
I think I'd have to take the youngest if it was a future life. I'd have to take youngest.
Mm, mm.
It just seems pretty broken.
I
This
mean,
past week. So.
the younger you are nowadays, the stupider you are because people are
Fair enough.
currently doing the Tide Pod Challenge all the time. Don't know why. I don't know why it's a thing. But Tide got so upset they decided to use Rob Gronkowski for a PSA, and it's a short, like 20-second video. I'm link in the description, and he basically just says no, don't eat a Tide Pod. They go in the laundry machine. Wow, what a concept!
Yeah, I know.
God.
I have two things. Like, first of all, like natural selection is taking its course, and people are. And two, why would they pick Rob Gronk? Like, of all the players in the NFL, like you'd think that they'd pick someone a little bit more intellectual drive than Rob Gronkowski. Not saying that he's dumb, but like he's not the smartest player. There are definitely better player, like smarter players out there, more cerebral minds that they'd be able to take from, like a Drew Brees type of player, where you've been respected forever, or like a Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning would have been amazing at that.
I think it's
They would have had
because
Peyton
they
Manning
had
stand up.
already done stuff with Rob. I think that's
I didn't
why.
realize. Oh yeah, they did. I
Yeah.
just thought about that. They
So
actually
they
did that
probably
after
had
the
him
Patriots and
like
stuff.
they probably have him on the loop. So they're just like,
That would
Rob,
make
we
more
need this
sense.
video really quick. Okay, let me grab a quick camcorder from my mom's basement and record it. because that's literally the quality of the video. Besides, like,
Yeah.
the graphics and stuff, which I thought was kind of funny.
Mhm.
But that's what really tilted me this week, was because everything else was kind of just blah. I didn't really pay attention to the news, or the news didn't really tilt me too much. Besides that,
Right. Well, you remember when they came out with the Nintendo Switch and they told you that they put all that shit on the games so that you wouldn't put it in your mouth, and then everyone just put it in their mouth anyway?
yeah, because I wanted to
Like,
see what it tastes like.
right. That's pretty much what the Tide Pod challenge is. It's just like it actually could kill you.
Okay, I was gonna say that's the only downfall.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It's like it's more extreme, but like that's the whole idea is you tell people to not put something in their mouth; they're just gonna put it in their mouth. You know what I mean?
When they say on the side of the actual product says, "Do not ingest, do not swallow. This is a danger to children. Keep out of reach." My common sense alerts go off, and I think I'm not going to put that in my mouth anytime soon. And I never thought to myself when I was young, I wonder what detergent tastes like. That's why there's a really rude thing called, "Hey, drink bleach," because bleach will kill you.
Yeah. Yeah, that is why that exists.
I'm sorry. I'm
I'm
sorry.
trying to think of other things that are like this that are. I can't think of anything as.
No, the cinnamon
stupid?
challenge.
But I can't think of anything as stupid as this.
The
You know what I mean?
the kid that was like, "Hey, let's try and pull a Desert Eagle 50 cal."
You're right. But that wasn't like it wasn't like the Bible challenge.
He thought it
where God
was.
saves you.
He thought it was. Okay, that's enough of that. Damn.
Only one person had to fail that one for everyone to stop doing it. So at least
Oh,
there's that.
that's true. But
At least
the
it's
article
gotten a time
that I'll link in the description, it also talks about how over the years several kids have accidentally, or somehow they swallowed or ingested Tide Pods of some sort and died because.
I mean, they do look like candy.
Yeah.
All
Why?
things considered,
Why
they
does
look like candy.
why does Tide do that? Let's.
Well, I mean, they have to. It's just based off like the colors of their stuff. Like I don't know a better
Their
way to do
brand.
it. It's just
Their-
3 colors.
Okay, that's fair.
It's basic. Like,
Yeah.
but I feel like it should be harder to.
Where's my mouse? Okay.
They're putting stuff in. I can't blame Tide for any of this shit. People are being super stupid. I can't blame Tide at all. What was I gonna say? I had something else that I was ready with, but it's had and lost it. I'll let you know if it comes back.
No, that's okay. New Nightwing says, "Hey, yo, how are you guys? We're doing well, Logan. How are you doing?"
Well. Yeah, doing good. It's been a
Good.
busy day, but a little bit late. So sorry about that, everybody
No,
on the stream. But
I feel like that's okay. Life
yeah.
happens, and I only got back like at 7. I got back at 7, so
oh, Jesus.
yeah, long day for me as well. But we go on. So we're not really going to cover anything in the news today, by the way. We're just going to basically cut straight to the good stuff, and yeah.
A lot of the stuff in the news is actually pretty up in the air right now, too, which is it kind of plays into our hands here a little bit. We're kind of rushed today, but also we don't know if the government's going to shut down. We'll learn about that in like 2 days or tomorrow. We don't know because of the DACA bill that
Yep.
might or might not be passed.
Yep.
So there's a lot of just stuff up in the air. There's not really a lot of solid news from this past week that we didn't already cover last week. So it's been a lot of the same. So we're looking forward to seeing if the government does or does not shut down like it did in 2013. But I guess we'll see what happens.
Yeah, that was a fun time. Not.
Oh yeah, but in wake of that, we still have our ad reads, despite the fact that the news is not up to snuff. This episode of the ISH podcast is brought to you by Snuggle. Snuggle. When rolling with the tide kills your children, it may be time to snuggle.
Roasted.
Boom. Roasted.
Stupid ass kids.
I was actually going to make it Tide, but I didn't know that Tide was already sponsoring this week's episode.
Yeah,
so.
we'll get to that later. They hit me up in the DMs yesterday, and I thought I'd throw them into the mix. But Logan, I want to know one time in your life you had to hold yourself back from punching someone in the face.
Well, somebody that I lived with called Allie a bitch during a game of Pong, and I almost hit him in the face. That would have been good.
Okay.
There's another time where I was walking downtown with some of my friends, and they called us butt buddies, and we both almost went over and kicked his ass, but we didn't. We held each other back because it was funny. because he called one of my friends a little bitch, and I was like holding him back, and then he's like, "Oh, is your butt buddy gonna help you?" And then I turned around, and then I was like, "You know what? He's not worth it. He's like 5'5". He'd have been dropped in a second, so it would have been interesting." And
Okay.
he had a girl with him holding him back, and the girl wasn't that big, and she was able to effectively hold him back, so he wouldn't have had that good of a day. I'll just say that much.
Okay. Okay, that's fair.
How about yourself, sir? A couple.
Um,
I was also intoxicated when that happened.
I was
My
gonna
temper's not
say
even
which times, like
both.
Okay, so hence why. Um,
Yeah.
I can't really think of a specific time that I've had to physically hold myself back or think to myself, Sam, you punched this kid. It's just gonna go down terribly for you in court, like if he takes it to court.
Mhm.
So I've never had a time where I've had to physically hold myself back yet. Knock on wood. Hopefully that never happens.
How about mentally?
Oh, mentally.
Where you're like, I'm gonna punch this guy in the face, and you're like, nope.
Oh man, every day.
Every day.
I mean, I guess the question is name one time.
There you go. Name one time you didn't.
Name one time I didn't.
Name one time you didn't want to punch somebody in the face.
Oh, this is actually kind of controversial, sort of. So I was with a couple of my buddies, and we were downtown, and this chick, clearly intoxicated. Okay, she's screaming, like, or I shouldn't say screaming, yelling very loudly, projecting her voice, like yelling at this guy, like, "Get off me! Get off me!" And immediately the sensors come on, like, what's going on right now? Oh my God, sexual assault. Oh my God, triggered.
I gotta tell you what went through my head after you're done with the story.
And but the dude wasn't being aggressive or anything.
Okay.
And I don't know if he was drunk or not, but she was very, very drunk. And so she started running away from him, and we were walking away, and then we kind of turned back and kind of followed just to see what would happen. And it's not like they were going down a dark alley or anything. They were in public. So she just ran around the corner, tried to go into the bar, but just stood outside a bar. And the guy was talking to her. And we're like, "Hey, is everything okay?" And in my party, we had a woman with us. So she talked to the girlfriend, I think.
Okay.
So the girlfriend was like, "Yeah, nothing's really the issue." That's what she got. And then the guy told us, like, "Yeah, she's just really, really drunk and being stupid." And we were like, "Yeah."
Thanks for not naming Allie and I specifically there. I know that was us. I mean,
What?
But no, I'm kidding. Allie just yelling at me. But no, when you first started saying this woman was just screaming, I was like, Sam is gonna hit a woman, and I am about to get out of this podcast. No, and this guy. Oh, thank God.
Oh my God, no! There have been times though where I've like there's just like drunk women being incessantly rude for no reason.
Just because they can.
Oh, that, yeah, too. And guys are also just rude too, and there are multiple times I just want to deck you in the face or kick you in the balls and then drag your ass across the floor and then smash your face into the tile and then bring it back up, throw you back.
Never thought about it.
Never. I'm not violent. Smile. /S. But yeah, there were multiple times. That was one time. I guess I mentally held myself back. I was like getting amped up, ready to jump in case this dude was about to. I don't know.
That's a lot. Town. That's a lot better. That works out a lot better in my brain. With what I thought you were as a person than you about to strike a woman. But yeah, that would have been much more interesting.
Well, okay, you wait. Okay, here's the thing. You know me. I wouldn't hit a woman.
Oh, no, I know you wouldn't hit a woman.
I wouldn't hit.
You barely would ever want to hit a person.
True.
Ever.
True. Ever. Because one, I just know it's going to go down terribly in court. And two, women have the advantage, period. How many people do you come across that say, "Hey, okay, so this woman's talking shit to you. Do you hit her?" How many say yes? How many say yes out of like 10 or 100 or 100,000 men? How many say yes? 2. American men. American men, by the way.
If you're out and it's it's strangers. If it's strangers,
yeah,
maybe like 2 people out of that 100,000 or whatever, 3. But there are plenty of guys who are not scared to hit women. Now that I think about it, like domestic abuse, but usually there's a lot more of a relationship there. You usually don't enter a relationship swinging. So
that's true.
But I don't know.
That's
everybody,
true.
I guess.
But see that, yeah. Oh, okay. So take away the domestic violence thing. That's
right.
Like
there's way more that goes into that.
Yeah.
than just I met you at a bar. Let's get down.
Yeah, I
Just
rarely
throw
ever
down
want to.
some
I
stuff.
rarely ever just want to straight up. You know what? I can fucking deck you
Oh,
right
yeah.
now. Like you never think
Right.
of that. But well, I shouldn't say that. I mentally think that. But then my follow through is like 0% so far. So let's keep it that way. Unless like my girlfriend gets threatened or one of my buddies gets threatened, and then we're about to throw down.
Yeah.
Oh my!
Makes
So
sense.
moving on. Logan has seen the new Star Wars The Last Jedi recently. So this is a spoiler alert. We're going to talk spoilers. We're going to talk plot. We're going to talk what we didn't like, what we did like, and all this fun stuff about Star Wars. Because
What we didn't like and what we didn't like and
shut
what we
the
didn't
fuck
like.
up, okay? You
What I didn't like.
stop talking, okay? Let me finish my monologue. And
Fine.
we're going to go more into Star Wars, the universe, because we haven't had a nerd talk like this in a long time. I don't think ever on this show yet. So I think we're going to eat it up as much as we possibly can. Nude Nightwing says, if I ever see pathos in public, I'm just going to walk away. That's fair. And so, Logan, your thoughts on the movie? Go.
I think it's slightly better than 1.
Triggered. That's why I'm currently triggered, and that's why it's currently triggered. Okay.
Exactly. No, the movie was not good. There's my synopsis.
The movie was not good. Oh wait,
2/3 of the plot devices could have been easily fixed. The writing was awful for this movie. I'll start with. I don't want to start with the one that pissed me off the most, so I'll start with the one that everybody talks about, and that's the Finn and Rose whole scene sequence. There's so much bullshit that happens during that you don't even think about. Like, they're looking for the guy that has like the red thing on his lapel, the red flower thing.
Yeah.
They don't find it, but they find a guy who can just happen to break into the code when they get put in jail for parking their ship on the beach. Stupid shit after stupid shit to just put them in jail next to this one dude who, by the way, can just hack
okay, go on. I can disagree with that point, but yeah.
Go ahead and disagree with the point. I'll let you do it. And
let's I don't think it's that out of the way. It is a little out of the way. They wasted time, I agree, but it's not totally I say out of character, because if you think about it, like a code breaker, probably an A-class
not
criminal.
That he would be in jail. Not that he would be in jail, but that he's in the same cell alone as the two characters that are happen to looking for one guy who can break into.
It's Star Wars. Come on.
This is the First Order. This is the Nazi regime of the long ago in the faraway times.
Yeah.
You have to be able to hack into their main base, their main ship with their main bad guy in it. And they just happen upon the one guy at this place in this jail cell. That's not even even close to the tip of the iceberg. That's just a part of that scene where I'm just like, really? They happen to find that guy? Finding a guy who's a pickpocket, a thief and stuff is fine. A basic level code breaker. This dude's got to be able to hack into their main ship.
Yeah.
That's what it doesn't trigger me. There are other things that trigger me in this movie, but that entire scene could pretty much go away because it's pretty much just an animal activist thing. Not that I am not an animal activist, but I don't go to Star Wars for the same reason that I don't watch the NFL to think about the national anthem. I don't watch Star Wars to think about animal abuse.
I would.
You know what I mean?
I honestly, I actually don't think that. I think people are reading way too much into the animal abuse thing, because I just think that was just thrown in there just to be in there. I don't think it was. I don't really care, to be honest. It's Star Wars. Yeah, you're right. I don't watch Star Wars for animal abuse shit.
Right.
Because
that's not even my least. Like I said,
yeah, I'd go somewhere.
Not my
else
least favorite part of the movie. If you'd rather me talk about my least favorite part of the movie first, just so we can get it out of the way,
I don't care.
The entire thing that happens to Poe. The entire thing, when he goes up to the person who takes over, and says, "What is the plan?" And she just says, "You have to have faith." And her plan currently consists of drive forward till we run out of gas and then we're all dead. And she doesn't just say, "Oh, we're going to go to a different planet." And he could just be like, "Oh, cool. I'll just not mutiny you." That is just so dumb. That's just so poor writing to force conflict where there doesn't have to be any. Why wouldn't she just tell him the plan? Right?
I think you're thinking way too logically about this and not about the characters specifically.
That is the issue. I was using logic, and clearly
you're thinking about, and I'm not saying you're at fault by this, by the way, because I kind of agree.
Right.
But at the same time,
it's just stupid.
I can see.
if I was in war with you, right, and I'm your general, and we are running away from people who are going to kill us, right? We're driving away in cars. Let's say you and I are playing PUBG together, and I'm
Okay.
driving the car, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, Logan, they're just gonna keep shooting at us until we die or run out of fuel. What are we gonna do? And I just say, have faith. You fucking jump out the car.
No, because I would die. I would stay in that car, by the way.
But like, you would abandon shit. You would be thinking, all right, this guy's gonna get me killed, right? That's what you'd be thinking.
I would accept
Like,
my fate at that point.
You'd at least think he does not have a plan. You'd at least think that. So that's what Poe did. And Poe just gets emasculated the whole movie, just deranked and deranked and deranked. It's just like, he just wants people to live. And everyone just gets fucked. It's like, oh my God. How can you be so poorly planned out there? But that was... That's top of the list.
Like, okay, yeah, I understand.
Frustrating.
I understand that. Okay, so back to the Codebreaker thing. I like the Codebreaker...
I like the guy. I like what he did.
Oh yeah, he was great. Benicio del Toro. Yeah,
yeah.
Great actor. Loved his little spiel there. Maybe we'll see him in 9. I don't know. Probably not.
He had some of my favorite lines in the whole movie.
Yeah, he was great.
Like, where he's like, oh, he sells stuff to the First Order, but he also sells to the it was a really cool little thing they did there.
Yeah, I liked that. That's what I wanted to point out. Like, I don't want to say like that whole spiel was to get to that point, that exact point where it points out to the universe and the audience saying there's good and then there's bad and then there's the middle who just wants to profit. There's no longer just strictly good and bad anymore.
Right. You know? Which I'm okay with that. Yeah.
Yeah. I liked that part. I don't necessarily agree kind of with you that they needed to go that route to get to that point if that was their goal. I don't know what their goal was there.
Right.
Definitely don't think it was an animal abuse ploy. Like,
no, but yeah. I mean, like, they make it a focus. Like, they go back to save them. Just save those horse llama things, whatever they are.
Don't they have to use them to get away? That's why.
But no, they released them. They're in the stables, and they release all of them. They don't release just the one or whatever that they need to run away.
Yeah, and why not? You got the time. How many more seconds is it going to take to plop the rest of them? 5.
I don't know.
Okay, good.
I feel like it doesn't matter about the time. Like the practicality of it. They took time to make their plan to release all the. I don't even care that they did that. I like that they did that. I don't care that they took time to do it. But like, they didn't even get them into safety. If you watch the movie again, the animals stop running as soon as they get off of them. The ships are coming at them, you know what I mean? Like the police. And then the animals are no longer running. All they do is just get herded back. Like, it just seems like a waste of time. Maybe they run away after the scene ends, I'm just being a bit of a pessimist because I didn't
after
enjoy
the whole scene. Do you not remember them running off once she lets him go?
They stop. No, because he runs to the herd. But then, do they run off?
Yeah.
Because I don't remember them running off.
Yeah, they run off.
I might have missed the frame.
Yeah, it was at the very end. It was at the very end when they jump on Del Toro's ship. She lets him go. Yeah, she lets that guy go.
Everything about BB-8 in both movies. I'll say that.
Oh, hands down,
is amazing.
Okay, wait. Here's the real question right here: BB-8,
all right,
or R2-D2?
Oh my God, that's hard because R2-D2 is in everyone.
Yeah.
R2-D2. Because during the scene where Luke is going to him and like, hey, R2-D2, and then he's like, talk about not helping.
Yeah.
And then R2-D2 plays the scene of his sister.
That was so well played. That was so good.
I like R2-D2 a lot, but BB-8 definitely holds his own.
Oh, hands down. He's got a different personality too. That's like on the same playing level as R2-D2, but I think is still like in a younger, less mature,
right?
I guess age bracket for droids or
whatever that would be.
Yeah, exactly my point. Let's go back to you talked about Poe's line. Okay, talked about Poe's. I kind of like that they kind of emasculated him a little bit,
but like
but
the whole idea was especially like get demoted because you destroyed all of our bombers to kill one ship. Yes, that makes sense. True. Objectively.
Correct.
I'm not going to tell you the plan because you're a little bitch. That's kind of what it felt like.
Come on! Like that's
fine. That's not what it felt like. But it felt like we don't have a plan, and I'm not going to tell you the no plan that we don't have. So just sit there and take it because I know it's killing you because you want to lead. and he's just sitting
Maybe
there like,
I was thinking no, because when I was watching the movie, I thought that too. I was like, why don't you just tell him what the fuck's going on? And then
yeah.
I thought to myself after I saw all those reviews and hearing people say that's a dumb line and a dumb little story device that
Mm-hmm.
doesn't make sense. I was like, maybe they just wanted to throw that in there to really fuck with us and make us upset. Maybe that's what they wanted to do.
I hope that's what they were trying to do because it really worked. It really worked. I was not
I mean,
happy about that.
like
Like
in
it
the
just wouldn't make sense.
in the grand scheme of things, like I don't know what other option they would have had besides try and run away, conserve fuel, get to a planet.
Oh, it's not that I dislike the plan.
No, I know.
I didn't
I'm
like
not
the
saying
plan.
like you disagree with the plan. I'm just saying
Right.
like let's like I don't know of another plan that they could have had. Besides try and blow up their ship. But they didn't know that there was another side plot going on.
I do have another plan though, based off of things because I watch countless videos on it too and other things. You know how when they're running away from the whole fleet or whatever, and at the end of it, everyone's getting on the transport onto that salt planet,
Yep.
and then Laura Dern, the purple-haired one, turns the ship around and just light speeds through all their ships.
Yeah.
Why didn't they do that with one of the medical vessels that they just gave up? Like they just let it die. You know what I mean? Why didn't they at least try that with that ship instead of waiting? Because it was pretty damn effective.
Yeah.
To light speed your way through there.
Yeah.
Unless my only concession there is if Lorden didn't think about it until she actually was like, oh, I can just try this. It's not like it's just a last ditch effort that she didn't think about until then.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if she knew and she didn't command them to do that, then it just wasted 2 ships.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe they couldn't get the people off of those vessels without the First Order seeing, because I know they had to do some sort of cloaking thing. I forget how they got those other ships past
Right.
the First Order ship, until the very last second. I don't remember how they did that at all. I'm forgetting that part, which is really bad.
Well, it was that they were tracking the lead ship. They weren't tracking for small ships on the outside.
Okay, exactly.
So, and then Benicio del Toro knew about the plan because when they were breaking in, Poe called Finn through BB-8, who was wearing a trash can, which was pretty funny. But he called him during that, and then Benicio del Toro heard it, and then he just kind of bartered his way out of getting into trouble and got paid for it. So
exactly,
that's kind of how that all went down. Then they shot him down. So I can understand the plan. I like the idea of, hey, they won't be tracking the small ships.
Yeah.
But why don't you just say, hey, we're going to go to a different planet on these small ships that they won't track us? What was so hard about saying that?
Maybe to prove a point to Poe and tell him to sit the fuck down. I don't know.
Hey guys, here's what we're gonna do. You know what Leia would do at this time? Not tell you anything about the plan. Hey guys, this is a movie. We have to just make sure that we keep everyone under wraps.
That's pretty true, actually.
It'd be more suspenseful if I didn't tell you till later in the movie.
I want that movie to come out on DVD so I can rewatch it, honestly, and pick apart that scene more. I mean, I could go on YouTube, but it's not the same as rewatching in person. Okay, so do you have any other gripes with the movie besides those two, or those your main two?
Let's go to the first scene where they're taking down the thing and they're bombing it.
Yeah.
Somebody pointed out the fact that space doesn't work in this movie, because if you look at the bombers on rewatch, unless they have a force field around them where they're dropping the bombs through, the person who actually signals for the bomb to get dropped is in the vacuum of space the whole time. There's nothing. The ship bottoms out. You know what I mean?
Correct.
Like the Asian girl who drops the bombs.
No, I think it's like a shield, because you know how
that's what I was thinking, but they drop bombs out of it. It has to pass through. It does that part doesn't bother me as much, but then when Leia's not dead,
that doesn't bother me at all.
It doesn't make sense.
Why?
She was unconscious in the vacuum of space, so she wouldn't have been able to do anything with the Force during that time. Then she just wakes up. I'm okay with her being able to pull herself onto the ship. That makes sense.
No.
That portion thing makes sense.
Yeah.
But then when she opens the airlock and the other side of the airlock's blown out, it would have killed everybody again. Rewatch. That upset me during my first watch of the movie, where if you watch Leia get back on the ship, there's no door. There's not a double door that she walks through. It's a single door, which would have pulled everybody out into the vacuum of space.
Wait. Really?
Yeah. Watch it the next time you watch it because it's the bridge. So they wouldn't have a double set airlock. It was from the bridge to the rest of the ship. So they blew the bridge out. She falls out. She pulls herself back in. It's not a double door. It is a single, like, I shouldn't say double door. It's not a double set of doors with a way to get, repressurized.
I need to rewatch it. See,
Yeah,
there's there's so many little things that I have to rewatch. I think this movie does a really good job of introducing new force abilities into the universe.
I like the new force abilities. I liked all the new force abilities.
Except the one where Leia can breathe in space. That's the one you don't like.
Well, yeah, because it's not that she can breathe in space, because I can understand, like, oh, she used the force to make like an air bubble around her.
Correct.
She was unconscious, then woke up, visibly woke up. So it's not like she could have bended the force to her will.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think the force is very weird, and like I think if she knew that she was gonna get blown up, or when she knew that she was gonna get blown up, maybe she was like, okay, well, I'm probably not gonna survive this space bubble, and then as she's floating out in space, just in case, so that energy's already there.
Her hands are freezing though. Like, you see, like, the frost. Like, did you see Guardians of the Galaxy 2?
Yes.
So when Yondu dies, you know how, like, the ice goes. Oh, spoiler alert for Guardians of the Galaxy 2. You know how when Yondu dies, how the ice, like, forms on his face?
Yeah.
The same stuff was happening on Leia's hands. So if it's like skin tight bubble, cool, whatever. She wouldn't be unconscious though. You wouldn't be able to do it while you're unconscious. You can't use the force when you're unconscious, right?
No, I don't think so. Because I've read a lot of lore and past Star Wars universe, like what happens to certain characters and stuff, and like comics and stuff, and they'll have nightmares and wake up and do force shit, and they have like lightning, and they'll just destroy things, but and like, they can't help
suffocate. If you're suffocating in the vacuum of space, are you still able to use the force that well? I just don't.
I think that's a question for the Star Wars gods, to be honest. I'm going to say it's possible
because she can use the force, or because you could use the force that way. It's because she's unconscious, so she wouldn't be able to use the force while unconscious.
Maybe she could. Maybe she could, because she can. She was unconscious when she felt Luke come back. Yes. Yeah. So that's possible. It's possible because she was like, Luke. That's what she said. She whispered it and was like, wow, Luke's back, because he entered back the force, and she was unconscious at that point.
Fair. But I think it would be different to hear through the force, other than, just actually utilizing it. I don't know. I just feel like it would
I agree. But it's possible. We'll see.
I like the mind melding stuff. I thought that was really cool.
That was pretty fucking crazy.
I liked it. I like that. I like that Luke could astral project himself. I don't like the way Luke died. I told you a couple days ago that I like everything about Luke. I don't like how he died. Like, that he died that way. Because he could have just died on the planet and it would have been cool still. I liked his death scene, but I don't like the fact that he died despite the fact that he was not there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I liked a lot about Luke. I like how jaded he was. Because, like, the Jedi fuck everything up, which makes sense because they do.
I liked everything about Luke. I'm gonna go back to what you said about how Luke died. I think I liked it because it kind of parallels how Yoda died, in a sense.
Yeah.
He died alone, sort of, but not really, because Luke was there, but he just kind of passed after that, and was one with the Force. I kind of like that, because Luke was kind of alone. He got to see Leia and all that stuff, and then he passed on his own. I kind of dug that.
I think it would have just been more fitting for him to go out more like an Obi-Wan than like a Yoda. You know what I mean? Just because the way that he died was in an Obi-Wan type scene, kind of, but with the death portion of a Yoda scene.
Okay.
They just tried to do too much. I think it'd been way cooler if he would have been there and like actually deflecting all of the ATT stuff. And then when he does his shoulder brush move, it's actually because he's that badass. That was hilarious. Luke does a bunch of funny stuff in the movie. I like Mark Hamill as Luke, obviously, because he does amazing. And I hope that he bring him back as like a ghost in 9 and he does some crazy shit.
Yeah, I agree.
Just because I can't let that be the end of Luke Skywalker. That would just be sad.
Let's talk about Luke's character, because everyone was super pissed about it. And by everyone, I mean a lot of people on the internet. Well, here's what I remember reading. Mark Hamill was initially upset about it. And then Rian Johnson said, hey, just read it again, play it out, let's see what happens. And so then he kind of went with Ryan and was like, okay,
Mhm.
we'll feel this out. And I really liked where Ryan took Luke's character. That was super solid and idealistic because if you think about it, he spent 20 years in isolation, dude. Come on, he's
Mhm.
not going to be the same kick-ass Luke. I mean, he is the same kick-ass
Right.
Luke Skywalker, but he's matured, he's grown, he's
Right.
learned and had time to think about things that he's done. So
Mhm.
he's not going to be the same guy that we saw kick ass on the Death Star. It's just not going to be the same.
Yeah, I agree, and that's why I like how jaded he was and how much he disliked the Jedi Order and how the Jedi just bring about evil to match, where you just kind of got to middle out,
Mm-hmm.
and that makes it goes with what you said before about Benicio del Toro's character. I can't remember his name. We'll just call him like Hacker Man or something, but where you just kind of got to middle everything out because if there's a very extreme dark, very extreme light comes to meet it. And then, if light gets more than, the dark just come to meet each other. So you just kind of got to,
Mm-hmm.
play even keel. And I think that's it would be, it's at least a stray from, 7 was very much like 4. If you rewatch, like a lot of it very much parallels where 8 had a chance to do something completely different and just ditch light versus dark almost.
Yeah.
And it would have been interesting to see, but they didn't. At the end of the day, it's still.
What do you mean?
At the end of the day, it's going to be evil. It's just that this time it's Kylo Ren, and it's going to be versus Rey, who's good.
I don't know because I think Disney promised Rian Johnson like a couple more Star Wars movies because the franchise is not dead. They're going to continue to make Star Wars movies until we die, and probably past that point. Yeah, that's going to be really sad. But we get a lot of great Star Wars movies, and I just love Star Wars, hands down.
We need better movies. This was not a great Star Wars movie. If you think it was a great movie, you can think it's a great movie all you want. It was not a great Star Wars movie.
I thought it was. Here's the things I thought it did well. It introduced new Force abilities. It challenged people's old perceptions of how the Star Wars universe is. Ish. Debatable point, I guess.
They could have done.
Well, okay. Where else would you have seen the divide between good and bad grow, or I guess dissipate?
No. The merging of good and bad could have been after the Kylo Ren Rey fight scene with Snoke. She takes his hand. Movie over.
Fuck that! No.
Fuck that. Why? Because good and bad come together?
No, like because I don't want it to end like that.
Why not? That was one of the best scenes in Star Wars history.
Oh, I'm not debating that point.
That fight scene was amazing.
Oh, that fight scene was the best one ever.
That fight scene was amazing. You could have just been like, well, maybe not end it like that. Of course, you have to wrap up the other loose ends first. But like, what could be better than to bring the Force to the middle than to have what you think is ultimate evil person die in Snoke? Then you have Kylo Ren, who's the next evil, and you have Rey, who's supposed to be this super good, super amazing at everything person.
Correct.
And they just come together and they work as a unit.
Because I think it's too soon. I think they plan on drawing out this trilogy as much as possible. Because I bet they're probably going to bring them together, possibly, theory, at 9. Sometime in 9 they will, I think. Or they'll fall back into the same routine, and then we have another trilogy to bring that back up again. Because I think that theory is very plausible.
God, too soon? Dude,
yes,
you can't say that it would have been too soon for that if you're going to give me 4 more movies.
Yes.
Like, that is way too early. Like, way too early. Like, why even introduce it that early then? Like, this is the second part of a trilogy. They could have, it would be right in the middle, right at the end, actually, the middle. So it would have been 2/3 into the trilogy. You would have had a complete middling of the Force. That would have been very interesting to see.
Yeah.
Where they take that from there. Because then there's like, oh shit, we've never seen this before.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen good versus bad. And I've seen it done very well in 4, 5, and 6. And now we see good and bad kind of become one in a bunch of different ways. And then it would kind of connect to the other spots where you said in the movie where, it's just kind of how you look at it.
Mm-hmm.
But like, they stuck with the good versus evil thing that has been all of Star Wars, where they could have done something completely different. Now, I don't want to judge the movie based off of what they could have done, because that's not fair. Mm-hmm. That's like when you're getting graded on a paper and they say like, "Oh, you could have mentioned this."
Yeah.
F. Yeah. It's like, go fuck yourself. Fuck yourself. Like,
it was an opinion paper.
Right.
Yeah.
So that doesn't play on my mind with regard to my like or dislike of the film. There's just a bunch of things I didn't like about the film.
Okay.
Another one I moved to. So, all right, positives about the movie. It was gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous movie. I
Yeah.
really liked the opening scene, despite the fact that you know what, there could be a force field there that prevents the people from getting sucked in the vacuum space. I don't care. But the thing blowing up, like that was so cool. Poe being super badass the whole time,
True.
super cool. Just like it's one plane. Why can't you destroy it? You know what I mean? And like, and Poe's just talking mad shit before it.
Oh, it's so fucking funny.
Like,
is he
I
there?
think if they get
Is he there? Is that him? Oh my god! But he's just fucking with the commander. Oh my god, that was hilarious.
Great. I like that part. I like the whole Kylo Ren Rey team up scene was amazing.
Oh, hands down.
Like their whole fight with the guard.
Yeah, it was great.
Especially when she throws that lightsaber and he just zaps that dude right in the face. Amazing.
Man,
I
dude.
really liked Luke, like his humor in a lot of it. Like when he's like, reach out, touch the force, and she like reaches her arm out and then he like smacks her with a branch. It's like, here, yes, it's the force. Just like, yes, sir. That's funny. Yoda's scene was very funny.
They used a real Yoda doll.
Right. They went back to the Yoda doll, which was
not the same one.
No, but like like they went back to real Yoda dolls.
Correct.
Instead of like so that was really cool. I like that. I almost like what they did with Finn at the end, but then they ruined it by having him live. If you would like, let me play like this does not impact my feeling of the movie. But what if instead Finn dies to that big laser thing that's trying to shoot through the door, stops the laser thing, the people still escape at the back, and then but that's the reason. And then you have Luke in 9 who can give his life to save the cause in 9. Wouldn't that be at least something, you know, it would have been more heroic than having Finn just be alive the whole time for like I thought that it could have been a very valiant way to go out.
Because that gets rid of the trio. Who replaces Finn then as the main character?
Rose, probably. But I mean, you could have the spark. Rose, the Asian girl. But no, you have the spark of the alliance. You know, when they're sitting in the cave and they're like, "Oh shit, we have no friends."
Yeah, that's true.
Forever alone. When they're doing that shit, he could be the spark that sets off the galaxy. Like, I don't know. I feel like that could have been really cool, and it would have been really heroic, and it would have been, you know, a noble way for him to go out, as opposed to, you know, just having her knock him out of the way, despite the fact that they're still in front of all the AT-ATs.
Yeah, which look badass, by the way. Those things look like
those
monsters.
Things were really cool.
Yeah.
But, like, think about it. They're still right in front of him. Why didn't they just kill those two?
I have no idea.
Right? They did. He carries her back.
Again, this is a Star Wars movie. There's like no actual logic that applies to any of these characters.
Black guy on an all-salt planet. You can see him the whole walk back. Let's be real here.
That's a long walk too. Like that's easily over a mile long. Like
and Luke is out there getting blasted, so they had to go around the whole thing into the door. Like,
wait, didn't she like drag him in one of those in like a sled? I'm pretty sure. I saw it back like when it opened out, so like this has been a month or so. My memory's shit.
I think he would because she passed out and he carried her back. They might have.
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe they did.
Yeah.
But, that whole plot line doesn't really work too well, just because it didn't wind up doing anything, you know.
I think at the end of it, all it was just character development. It didn't. I don't think it didn't add a whole lot to the overall plot necessarily, which is why I think side plots are so interesting.
But like the side plot didn't come to anything. Like, and then if you think about the end of that side plot, actually, because that's where the Lightspeed goes through all the ships.
Yeah.
How did they not die right there? How are they not dead?
The explosion?
Yeah, because all the people around them are dead. All the ships around them are dead. All the stuff around them collapsed. And those two are just sitting in the middle of it, just like making debris angels in the middle, just safe. It doesn't make any sense. And then all of the other people that aren't dead, like, you know, the person in the, like, I can't remember her name, the shiny one, the shiny stormtrooper is like amazing.
She does.
Who gets her ass, whose entire purpose is just get her ass kicked by Finn in both movies.
Yeah.
But
I don't like
Like,
that. That's my one gripe of the movie too.
yeah,
I think she died too early.
Oh yeah, they
Yeah,
didn't use her at all, or like they didn't make her badass at all. She wasn't like gunning people down and then happened to fight, Finn, the good guy, who's gonna beat her.
yeah.
It
I would have
was
liked to see more Finn and her fighting, or like
right.
develop that story more.
Yeah, that was
Um,
cool.
yeah, or because like I think they, well, these are all like what ifs,
Right,
like so.
right.
Still, I still love the movie. By the way, I think I don't think it's the best Star Wars movie they've ever come out with because my favorite, hands down, right now is The Force Awakens. I just love the pace of the movie is very well done. It keeps you moving. It doesn't really. You're not wondering. All right, let's move on now. I'm done with
Yeah.
this scene. Let's move on to the next point. It does a good job of just keeping you in the action and throwing in some nice humor. Um, graphics are great too. But I really liked 8 too. I really liked what they did with it, and there were, of course, I think it was very, controversial because I think a lot of people didn't like Luke. That's, I think, the number one thing besides all the plot holes that people have pointed out. That's the one main thing I think that people dislike about the movie because they wanted to see a badass Luke Skywalker again.
And that's not even like I could have dealt with what they did to Luke if he would have went to the planet and died. I think that if he would have went to the planet and died instead of staying back on the planet, astral projecting himself, and then dying anyway,
Yeah.
I think people would have been a lot happier with that.
Mm.
Because if you watch, did you watch Rogue One?
Yeah.
People loved the Darth Vader scene, and that was only like 2 minutes long. Because it was amazing. It made Darth Vader super badass.
Are you talking about the end, or are you talking about the middle?
Yeah, the end.
The
where
end?
he just kicks everybody's ass, where it's like the opening of 4,
Yeah.
and Darth Vader just kicks all the ass.
Yeah.
Like if they would have had one of those types of scenes,
Yeah.
for Luke, that could have been. It would have been. I think that people would have been happier with Luke if that would have been the case. But I feel like they wasted that. They wasted the deaths of the old characters, like Han Solo, kind of a wasted death because it didn't even do anything. Like
No, I don't think so.
Kylo stayed the exact same.
Not necessarily, I don't think. But go on.
I mean, he was. The point of killing Han was that it was supposed to solidify Kylo as Darkseid, but he's still conflicted the whole time. So it feels like it's kind of wasted. Like you didn't have to kill him.
Okay, so are you saying like he conflicted the whole time in 8?
Yes.
I think that was the point. That was the point,
right.
Because it was supposed to, but it didn't. That's like he thought that's
so
what,
and that's why it feels wasted. Like it's supposed to make it.
But
so
that's
he's all
the
Darkseid.
character, though.
I know.
That's the character,
but
though.
Like you could have killed him in a different way, other than just. There's plenty of stuff that they did to Han in the last movie that like people were skeptical of, but you kill Han that way, and then you kill Luke in a very similar way, where it just feels wasted. Where you could have killed him in a much bigger way, like you have him actually there, actually fighting off all these people, and he's dead. He's dead there because of all the people. He just eventually gets overwhelmed. It'd be like a Halo Reach type of thing.
Here's why I think they're excuse me. I need some water, damn. Here's why I think they're not, maybe this isn't their reason per se, but I think they're trying to bring on the new generation of Jedi, and all that. Hence why, like, I do kind of agree. I wish, like, deep down, the old Star Wars fanboy in me wants me to see my characters that I grew up with, essentially, die in the new series in a more heroic way.
Right.
But this isn't their series, though, anymore,
Right. But I mean, it doesn't have to be their series for them to die in a heroic way. You know what I mean? Like, if Luke is on the planet dying there, instead of, you think he's going to survive because it wasn't actually him, and then he just dies anyway. I liked the death scene, like the looking into the two suns. Yeah. I thought that was really cool.
Oh, hands down.
And then he vanished. I thought that was a really nice full circle.
Yeah.
But they couldn't have just made it so that this salt planet had two suns, and they have the same shot. I don't know. I feel like it could have been.
I don't think it was as dramatic. I don't think that would have been as dramatic as Kylo realizing that it wasn't fucking the real Luke Skywalker.
I think he hit him.
Oh my god!
Do you think he hit him? And then Luke's just fire every.
I love. He's also in the AT&T or AT&T. Oh my
AT&T.
god, the Walker bullshit, whatever. And he just slams the guy into the wall and back down, just in rage. Oh my god. Okay, so speaking of Kylo Ren, have you seen the SNL skit where he goes on? Oh my god, that's so fucking funny. I'll link it in the description below because it got me dying. It got I was laughing at work. I watched it at work when I was on my break, and my boss was like, what are you watching?" I was like, "This SNL skit with Kylo Ren. Please watch it." She's like, "Okay, I
Adam
will."
Driver's amazing.
Adam Driver's a great actor.
Adam Driver's why I'll watch 9. Just because I want to see what they do with him.
I want to see Daisy Ridley does a real. I think is an also. Oh man, I can't talk. Is also a very good actress. And I like the dynamic that they have between the characters. So I really hope what you proposed, where they clasp hands and they join forces.
That'd be super cool.
That'd be super fucking cool if they did that in 9. And that's how they ended it. And then the next trilogy sets up for here's where the universe is maybe 5 or 10 years later, possibly, and then we can see how that developed and what new issues have risen during that time. That'd be cool.
It'd be interesting to see. And then you said that your favorite one was 7.
I would have to say right now it's 7. I like the action, the plot, and it gave me good feels, good vibes. You?
Empire Strikes Back is just a masterpiece. Number 5.
Number 5.
Just a masterpiece. Like front to back, amazing movie. Great suspense. You don't know what's going to happen in 6. Because that's the one where Han Solo gets put into carbonite. Yep. You have Luke get his hand chopped off. You get Luke getting trained by Yoda, but then he leaves unexpectedly, and then you have the whole Cloud City thing where everyone gets captured. You don't know what's going to happen. So it's just a lot of great scenes and a lot of great writing. A lot of greatness. Seen by a lot of people as the best of the original trilogy, which were the best set of the 3 movies. So,
of the 6 movies.
Sorry, of the 3 of the 3 trilogies, it's the best of the 3 trilogies, and that's the best of the 3 movies within the trilogy.
I see what you're saying. Okay, gotcha.
I think I fucked up when I said it before, so thanks for not shitting on me too hard.
No, you're fine. Yeah. You're fine, dude. I think that's easy to mess up. There's so many fucking trilogies now. There will be actually.
Yeah.
Because we have a new Han Solo movie coming out. And
I hope they don't fuck Han Solo.
I don't think they will.
I don't think they will either because I like Rogue One, but.
Yeah, Rogue One was very good. I watched that recently.
I want them to make a Boba Fett movie. That'd be so cool. Or he's just being badass everywhere and just killing a bunch of people. They don't have any writing. It's just him killing a bunch of people.
I wish they would make an R-rated Star Wars movie.
That'd be interesting.
They're not going to.
Han an R-rated?
Well, no, any Star Wars movie. If they made any Star Wars movie like R-rated, they're not though because Disney wants that bankroll and profit.
Right.
But
it's a family series now.
I mean, Marvel did it with Deadpool, and Deadpool was wildly successful. Marvel kind of caters to the younger generation too.
But Deadpool caters more to the R rating than a Star Wars movie.
But that's the thing, though, because it was written for the R rating.
Right.
So if they wrote a Star Wars movie for the R rating, I think that would turn out really well. But that's just.
And I think that a Han Solo movie or a Boba Fett movie, or like a bounty hunter type of smuggler type of movie would, or even like a Lando movie, where
Donald Glover is the soul.
Oh my god, that would be incredible.
But Donald Glover's Lando, right, in the new Solo movie?
I did not know that.
Oh, well, now you know.
Now I know. Oh my god, spoiler alert. No, okay. But no,
that's why I'm really excited for the Han Solo
I'm
movie.
going to like that a lot. Okay, I didn't know that. I might actually be excited for that movie now.
Yeah, I love it so much. Have you seen the new Spider-Man Homecoming, by the way? I'm sorry.
Yes.
So Donald Glover's in that. I love his cameo in that movie.
It's so good.
So good.
Donald Glover's so funny.
You know what's also great? Tide.
Yes.
Because they're proud to sponsor this week's episode of Insert Slogan here. And though children are dumb enough to eat pods, we're not. Buy Tide Pods at Walmart, Walgreens, and other major superstore chains near you using code ISH for 10% off.
All right. Sam, do you have any emails? Is the chat currently triggered with anything I've had to say today as well?
No. Does anyone in the chat want to ask Logan or I some interesting and provocative questions that
could or could not be Star Wars related if you want it to be.
That is so true. I'm always down for a Star Wars. I do
As
not.
you tell by the way that this has been longer than I expected just for a Star Wars conversation.
I'm happy, dude. I'm so happy.
All right.
It did not happen. I have nothing. Did someone text you something?
I won't ask you what Allie's question is for you. That's for non-podcast.
Oh, that's a non-pod? Okay.
I'll do it for the stream. But so you got to be live to hear this question. But
okay. Let's see.
I don't have do you have anything you want to say before ending this out?
The outro?
I have a quick message. Yeah, a quick message.
You go first. You go first.
The only thing I want to say here is, despite the fact that Sam and I disagree so vehemently about these issues, and the fact that Sam is so wrong about these issues does not stop us from being friends. So like we said before, there's many different, these arguments, of course, are not as important in the grand scheme of things as other arguments you might have going forward. But keep in mind that civility and the fact that you will remain friends after the argument, try your best to at least try to see what the other person's seeing when you are having a debate. It's if you still have an issue when you're seeing what they're seeing and you see how it could have been better, that's one thing. But making sure to know that you are remaining friends and that we're all humans, and take it each step at a time, and don't try to ruin friendships over an argument. Mm-hmm. That's all I have to make sure to point out here.
Yeah, it's definitely not worth losing a friendship over getting heated over something that is, in the grand scheme of things, not as important as having like a buddy or a friend or like a spouse or a partner in your life, because I mean, you're always going to disagree with somebody, and you're never going to like what everyone says at one point. So it's hard. It's really fucking hard. But if you can try to understand, like Logan said, the other side, I think you'll come away a smarter and wiser person in the end. And you'll also be able to have future talks, and you'll be able to have those with much more success than your previous ones. I think other than that, let's see here. We're going to be live again next week. Episode number 19 next week. But this has been episode number 18 on the 18th of January 2018. Holy shit!
That's a lot of 18s that we didn't even plan.
Oh my god, I just thought of that. Wow. I'm going to repeat that one more time. This has been episode number 18 on January 18th of 2018. Insert slogan here. I've been your host, Sam, with my co-host,
Logan. Have a wonderful day, everybody.
And we'll see you guys next week.